Hey guys, Jay here with Word of Advice TV. Lately, I've been getting a few comments about duct cleaning, either on the furnace or the air conditioner, where they come out and clean the ducts. And most of these comments can be categorized into two categories. The first category is where people are simply asking, is this something that is needed or not? And then the second category is, hey, we did get our ductwork cleaned, but after it got cleaned, the furnace or the air conditioner was never the same again. Or even worse, 3 days later, the furnace stops working. So I decided to make a video on duct cleaning and share 3 things with you that duct cleaning companies usually do not tell you. But before we jump into those 3 things, let me first address the question whether this is even needed or not, the cleaning of your ducts. And it's ducts, not ducts. I wish they made those words a little bit different because they sound so similar. But yeah, it's D-U-C-T, not D-U-C-K. Even though, if you say duck, I think most people will understand. If you want a short answer, here it is. For 95% of people, it is completely unnecessary. And I'm pretty sure that most HVAC guys out there would agree with my opinion. In fact, if you're an HVAC guy and you're working in the field or you know about duct cleaning, it would be awesome if you could share your opinions in the comments below. I believe that the duct cleaning service, for most people, is pretty useless and a waste of money. And sometimes, if you get unlucky, the company that comes out to clean your ducts, not only do they do a bad job of cleaning them, they also mess something up in the system while they're at it. But if you're part of the 5% that does need your ducts cleaned, usually this is if you have really old ductwork. If it's like 100 years old and it's never been cleaned, that might be a good idea. But typically, if your ductwork is 35 years old, that's no big deal. There is going to be some buildup inside of there, but that does not do any harm. Another thing is if you have a lot of animals in the house, dogs or cats that shed hair, and there's just debris and other garbage around the house that's stirring up a lot of dust, your ductwork is going to get dirty a lot faster as well. So if you open up your vents and you literally see just piles of dust and hair, then you probably do need your ducts cleaned. And that brings me to point number 1. People often mistakenly believe that cleaning the ducts is going to cause the air in the house to be cleaner as well. And of course, the ductwork cleaning companies aren't going to correct you on that because they just want to get out there and do the service. By the way, before I continue, I do want to point out that the point of this video is not to bash on duct cleaning companies. There are good companies out there that do a good job, but there are bad ones as well that give them a bad rep. Those are the companies that come out and supposedly clean the ducts, but then after they leave, the customer or the homeowner checks the vents themselves and half of them are not cleaned, or things that were supposedly cleaned were only stirred up. The dust inside of the ductwork was stirred up, but most of it was actually not vacuumed or sucked out. You have to keep in mind that the dust inside of the ductwork is usually caked on the inside of the walls. So as the air is blowing through the ductwork, the dust is actually not getting picked up and carried along. Whatever dust is going into your house from the vents is usually the same dust that is getting sucked in by the return grill. So if you're having a dusty house problem, it's most likely not caused because of dusty ductwork. Which reminds me of a good reminder. If you're doing some kind of a remodeling work in your home, whether it be painting, sheetrocking, or maybe some kind of a woodwork or flooring that stirs up a lot of dust, if possible, you want to keep your HVAC system off while you're doing that and stirring up all kinds of dust. After you're done with your work, let the dust settle and try to vacuum as much of it as you can before you turn your HVAC system back on. So to summarize what I'm saying, let sleeping dogs sleep. The dust inside of your ductwork is caked on and it's not causing any harm. But if you get a company to come out and stir all of that up, now this dust is flying all over the place, going inside of your furnace and going all over your house. Because most companies will not do a good job cleaning all of that out and vacuuming it out. So all they're doing is stirring up a whole bunch of stuff and vacuuming maybe a third of it. So unless you have a very good reason to do so, like I said in the beginning, for 95% of you, just don't even concern yourself with this. Do not get your ducts cleaned. Even the EPA agrees with me on this one. Here's what the official website has to say. Duct cleaning has never been shown to actually prevent health problems. Neither do studies conclusively demonstrate that particle or dust levels in homes increase because of dirty air ducts. This is because much of the dirt in the air ducts adheres to the duct surfaces and does not necessarily enter into the living space. Let's move on to point number 2, and that is that when some cleaning companies come out to clean your ducts, they will turn the furnace off and they might close all the vents in your house. And when these companies leave, they don't always turn everything back on and open the vents back up. And in the worst case scenario, they might have shut something off or closed the vents and didn't even tell the homeowner to turn it back on or to open the vents back up, and then they just leave. Shortly after they left, the homeowner notices that the furnace is either not working correctly or it stopped working altogether. So if you get your ducts cleaned, once the company leaves, I would definitely recommend checking everything over, making sure the furnace doors are back on, the power switch is on, they didn't leave any holes in the ductwork, not patched up, and check all the vents and make sure they're open. And point number 3, as a repair guy, is the one that I saw the most often, and that is a dirty furnace filter. What most people fail to realize is that when the duct cleaning company comes out, they stir up all that dust like I mentioned previously, and a lot of that does not get vacuumed up. So after they do all of that and they leave, when you turn the furnace back on, all that dust that remains in the ductwork gets blown back into your house. And once it recirculates in the home and gets sucked up by the return grill, that will pack up your furnace filter real quick. So a furnace filter that usually lasts 2 months, it will get plugged up in a week. I've been to quite a few furnace repair calls where the furnace was overheating, and this was the problem. One of my favorite questions to ask a customer when I come to their home and the furnace is not working is, hey, did anything change in the last month? Or maybe even 2 months? Was there some kind of a remodel? Was something new installed? Was some kind of a service done? Did you paint something? And I just want to know what happened in the background. And if they tell me that the duct cleaning company came out 3 weeks ago, then my number 1 guess is a dirty filter, and my second guess might be a dirty A-coil. And this is another one of those things that duct cleaning companies will often not tell you. They will come out, do their thing, and not bother mentioning anything about the filter. And if you just replaced the furnace air filter right before the cleaning company came out, and a week later the furnace stops working or starts to overheat, you're not even going to suspect the air filter because in your mind you're thinking that can't be it, the filter is brand new. And I've seen this quite a few times. So once the ducts get cleaned, make sure that the furnace filter gets replaced on a weekly basis for the first 2 or 3 weeks. Be aware that the furnace filter is going to get plugged up a whole lot faster than usual. And that is all I had to share. Personally, I don't like duct cleaning, I wouldn't do it in my house, and whether you agree or disagree, I would love to know why in the comments below. And if you made it all the way to the end of the video and you're not yet in the comment section, I have a joke for you. Why did the little boy throw the clock out the window? He did this because he heard his mom say that time flies. So he wanted to see just exactly how time flies.